delay?
I don't know. It's like 15, 20 seconds. It's crazy.
And now we wait.
Let everybody know we're here. It's the secret show.
Secret show.
It's a secret. I didn't get to see Revenge of the Sith in the theaters, and I'm upset about it.
Yeah, I didn't either. I really wanted to get that Darth Vader collector's cup.
Yeah.
It looked. Did you see the little video that Hayden Christensen did to promote the movie?
No, I never saw that.
I think it was for Regal Cinemas.
Yeah.
It starts on the shot of like a movie theater usher, and he said, you hear his voice off screen that says, "1 ticket, please," and she says, "To what movie?" And then it cuts to Hayden Christensen, and he's got the Darth Vader cup and the Star Wars popcorn bucket, and it plays the Imperial March.
That's awesome.
It's funny.
I'm so glad he's getting his flowers now.
Yeah, because that... I know people bashed him, but it wasn't
It wasn't
him.
him.
His fault.
No, it was Uncle George's bad writing, bad dialogue writing.
Jeez.
All right. Well, I've got everything open and ready to go.
See, I haven't seen YouTube pop up yet.
Really?
Let me refresh.
It says we're streaming.
It says here waiting for J Funktastic.
Huh.
Let me... Okay, now it says you're live.
Hold on. Let me... Yes. Okay, we should be good.
Okay.
All right. Hopefully everybody will meet us here. I think I need to maybe go into... Let me go into YouTube real quick. I think I might need to delete one of these, because I think I might have accidentally started another stream instead of the one that I had ready to go. Because, you know, I'm a professional podcaster, and that's, you know, should be prepared for all this kind of stuff.
Well, and you know, it's like YouTube doesn't really make it easy.
Yeah, no, they don't. Yeah, I need to go ahead and delete that one. All right, well, hopefully everybody will know we're here. They can follow us and find us here.
Okay.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. I got to press record first. All right.
Good idea.
Do it again here in 3, 2, 1. Wait, why is it not recording? Hold on, let me stop here for a second. Some reason this thing is not recording. Why am I having so many problems? Come on, Audio Hijack. What are you doing to me? Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Greetings, programs, and we're here for another episode of the Nerd Cave Retro Show. My name is Jason Robbins.
And my name is Derek Diamond.
Whew, that was a lot of misstarts at the beginning of the episode. Sorry for all you YouTube watchers. That was a little weird.
Got some gremlins in your computer, I guess.
I know. I don't know what's going on tonight, man. It's like stuff just... I press buttons and nothing wants to work correctly.
Technology's having a Monday too, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. It is a Monday, but we're going to make the best of it.
Yeah, the work day is over. We're here doing a show. Excited to talk some Revenge of the Sith a little bit later on. And I know we were talking before we started recording, but neither of us got a chance to see Revenge of the Sith when it was re-released in theaters, which is disappointing because I think that movie gets more hate than it deserves.
Yeah, it's definitely the best of the prequels.
Oh, 100%. It's not perfect, but it's got some really great moments in it.
Yeah.
And I enjoy Revenge of the Sith.
And I wanted to go watch it too because it's been a few years since I've seen it, so I really wanted to see it in the theater again. I watched it like 3 times in the theater back in the day, and yeah, it's been a while. And I wanted to go see it again in the theater, but I've just been so busy, I just didn't get to go.
Yeah, there's quite a few movies that have come out that I haven't had a chance to see. I haven't seen Thunderbolts yet.
Yeah, I haven't
I
either.
haven't seen Sinners yet. And then I know the new Final Destination comes out this week
Yeah.
that my wife and I are excited about.
Well, as you know, I've been in the middle of buying a house, so that takes up pretty much all of your time when you're trying to buy a house. So hopefully once that's over and done with, I can maybe breathe a sigh of relief for a little bit.
Yeah, you should take a personal day once the whole process is done, because it's, as someone who's gone through the house hunting and the buying and moving and all that stuff, it's not truly over for a while.
Yeah.
Because then you got to do all the packing. You realize, oh, I don't need half of what I own.
Yeah.
So then I try to get rid of it in some form of fashion.
Yeah.
And then you move everything, and then you're like, oh, there's more stuff that I don't really need, but I'm so tired I don't want to get rid of it right now. Not that I'm speaking from personal experience.
Yeah. Well, I'm just curious to see all the stuff that I've forgotten that I have and end up getting rid of, so we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be like a little treasure hunt.
It makes me tired thinking about it. I just don't want to move. I hate moving.
Yeah, but I mean, it'll be good. It'll be good for you though, because you'll have your own place. You don't have to worry about. I don't know. I don't miss apartment living.
I don't
at all.
I don't want to be here anymore. I'm so ready to have a place of my own.
Yeah, and you could truly, make it your own.
Yeah, I can't wait. But
Yeah,
how
oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask you how your weekend was.
Oh, it was good. We took my mom out to eat for Mother's Day Saturday night, and then Sunday we did. I think dog moms are just as important as human moms, so took Samantha out to lunch, and then we did a little shopping, and then made dinner here at home. Made some fettuccine Alfredo, which turned out quite good.
That sounds good.
And then we watched a couple of movies, and it was a nice weekend, but it went by way too fast.
Yeah, it did. I was talking about it before the show. This whole weekend it felt like I got off work on Friday, blinked, and then I was walking back into work Monday morning. Like this whole weekend, it just went by in a flash, like the fastest weekend I've ever experienced in my life.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of when that happens.
Oh man, but we got a little bit of news to get to this evening. You ready to jump into it?
Sure.
Here we go. Some tonight's stories, probably all of tonight's stories, were provided to us by Mr. Armez Jackson. And if you have a news story you'd like us to cover, send them to nerdcaveretro@gmail.com. And the first story tonight comes from MyNintendoNews.com. Nintendo announces 2 Star Wars games for the next game trial titles. Ahead of the International Star Wars Day, May the 4th, Nintendo revealed that on April 30th, Nintendo Switch Online customers were able to try out 2 Star Wars titles as part of the game trial service, specifically Star Wars Bounty Hunter and Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles. They were free to play until May 6th. See, I was supposed to put this in last week for the Star Wars thing, but I didn't get to, so this is a little late. But I still wanted to add this in here because I think this is kind of cool that Nintendo's kind of doing a free trial. I guess this must be for Nintendo Switch Online members. You get to do a free trial of these games, so this is pretty nice. Thank you, Nintendo. Now lower your price a little bit for your future games. Thanks.
We'll talk about that in just a little bit, but these are 2 decent choices for free trial games. I think Bounty Hunter is one of the most underrated Star Wars games ever. And I'm not going to lie, I completely forgot about Jedi Power Battles.
Too. I don't think I ever played Jedi Power Battles.
I don't think I did either. I do remember seeing it and knew of it,
Yeah.
obviously, but I never got around to it. But Bounty Hunter is a game that I want to go back and play at some point. I might do that, a little bit later on in the year. But
It actually
this is cool.
came loaded on my PS4 when I bought it a few years ago. So I have this on my PS4. I just need to fire it up and play it.
Yeah, this was it was a refreshing change for Star Wars games
Yeah.
at that time. Next up, from NintendoLife.com, former Rockstar dev throws shade at Mario Kart World, says new GTA will be worth the price. I have a little comment on that I'll say after I finish reading the article. Rockstar Games blew up the internet with the second official trailer for GTA 6, and it's led to all sorts of discussion about the current state of the industry, including the future pricing of games. Former Rockstar animator Mike York, who previously worked on GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, has now chimed in with comments about how the detail and amount of realism in the new GTA will justify its price point, while throwing shade at the new Mario Kart World game and its pricing, suggesting Nintendo's games simply can't compete. He says, "No other game has the detail and the amount of realism that this does and will have when it's released, so everybody complaining out there needs to just zip it, because whatever amount this game cost, $80 or whatever, is going to be worth it. All these other games that come out for $70, $90, I mean, look, you've got Mario Kart for 90. You think Mario Kart competes with a game like this as far as how much stuff they've got to put in a game?" Now, here's the thing. I understand throwing shade at Nintendo about this,
Yeah.
because, I mean, everybody has. However, even if it's $1 less than Mario Kart, it better be cheaper than Mario Kart, because if it's not, this is going to look like a major load of hypocrisy.
Yeah, because look, I want to throw shade at Nintendo as much as the next person, but trying to compare these two games, it's just apples and oranges. It's two completely different type of gamer that plays these type of games. The type of gamer that will throw $90 at Mario Kart, that's what they want to play, and they'll get $90 worth of fun out of that. The people that want to pay, $80 for GTA, which one is this, 6? They'll get a lot out of it. But to sit there and throw shade and be like Mario Kart is nothing compared to GTA 6, it's not even in the same realm. Like, they're two completely different games.
And I mean, GTA needs to actually, be released, because
Yeah.
we haven't talked about it, but they pushed it to May of next year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, there's a reason that running joke online is a thing where X happens before GTA 6 was released.
Yeah.
Even when John Cena turned heel back in February, he put on his Instagram the cover of GTA 6, because even
Yeah.
he's like, I became a villain before GTA 6 was released.
And, like, they talks about all the realism and stuff in the game, and, like, that's cool and all, but that is not why a gamer like me, that is not why I play a video game. I could give a crap about graphics. I mean, graphics are, if they look great, awesome. If they're just not that, not very, it could be not as realistic, but as long as there's some, like, artistic value to it, or if they're like, like, there's a lot of games out there like the Mario games or Nintendo games that are very stylized, that aren't realistic, that you can get just as much fun out of those games, and it doesn't matter how realistic the game is. Is it gonna play good? Is it gonna be fun? Is it gonna be worth playing? Because you can have the best looking game in the world, but if it's a crap game, it's a crap game. I'm not saying GTA 6 is going to be a crap game, so hold your emails, everybody. I'm just saying, like, that graphics are not the reason why a lot of gamers play games. I mean, there's a lot that do love it, but I'm not one of those.
Yeah, and, like, I'm curious about GTA 6, and I probably will pick it up once it does come out, because I'll have one of those consoles, like either a PS or a new PlayStation or a new Xbox by that point.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like it's one of those things like, when you're waiting for a movie to be released and they keep pushing it back and pushing it back, and then it's like it kind of kills the excitement for you.
Yeah. Is it gonna
That's where
live
I am
up
with
to,
GTA 6.
Is it gonna live up to the hype? I don't know, because they got what 14 years out of GTA 5. So is this one gonna hold up like that one? Time's gonna tell.
And then there's no telling when GTA 7 will be released.
I will be dead before that happens.
Probably.
Or at least I will be. From it'd probably be like GTA 7 2056 is when it's coming out. Let's see.
I don't even want to think of how old I'll be by that
no,
point.
I can't calculate that right now.
I don't want to.
This is from NintendoLife.com. Unlike Nintendo, EA's game prices apparently won't be rising anytime soon. Madden and EA Sports fans rejoice. EA has suggested that it won't be following suit with others in the industry, and it has no plans to raise its game prices for now. That is according to a recent Q&A following the company's end-of-year financial results, where company execs were asked whether the team was considering the pricing power of its franchises when it comes to taking a similar approach to other companies' rising price strategies. Andrew Wilson, the CEO Andrew Wilson, gave a long-winded answer in response, commenting on how much the industry has changed over the last 10 years and how the company's approach to pricing has changed with it. Quote, whether we're doing something that costs $1 or we're doing something that costs $10, we're doing something that costs $100. He said, our objective is always delivering incredible quality and exponential value to our player base. And it says, to be clear, this doesn't necessarily mean that all EA games will cost $70. Let's see, because right now, Split Fiction, Madden NFL 26, and the next FC title on Switch 2, they're available for pre-order for $49.99 and $69.99. And he says the company not all EA games will cost $70. This company sends out beefy deluxe editions and the like each year at an increased fee, but it does mean that we shouldn't see too many price tag surprises from the studio in 2025. So it seems like of all the companies, EA is like, yeah, we don't want this smoke. We're just going to stay out of this one.
Which honestly is probably the smart decision, because they see how Nintendo's just been thrown under the bus, then pulled out of the road, and then thrown under the bus again.
Because you would think of all companies, EA would be the first ones to be like, ooh, Nintendo's raising their prices. Tariffs? We can raise our prices and nobody can say anything. And then Nintendo did it, and everybody, like you said, they took the bus, ran over Nintendo, dragged Nintendo out from under the bus, and ran over them again. And then Microsoft did it. Then they got ran over by that bus, and we pulled them out from under the bus and ran over them again. So EA's like, yeah, we're good. We don't want to get ran over by the bus.
Do you remember that scene from the first Austin Powers movie when Dr. Evil and all his minions are doing like the really obnoxious and overdramatic evil laugh? That's how I pictured. Yes, that's how I picture the EA executives.
Yeah, dude, Dr. Evil would totally be the EA CEO.
I would love to see a parody of that. That would be amazing.
How much should we charge for this new Madden game? $1 million.
Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. Next up, also from NintendoLife.com. With Switch 2 looming, Nintendo has surpassed another monster financial milestone. Regardless of the drop-off in Switch sales in recent years, we know that this generation has been a good one for Nintendo's financials. It has been so good, in fact, that the House of Mario has just surpassed another massive milestone in its latest Japanese market valuation. According to the market capitalism tracker Company's Market Cap, Nintendo has now surpassed the $100 billion line in market valuation. This is the first time that the Big N has reached 12 digits, and with a current estimated value of $100.16 billion, is quickly closing in on the title of the sixth largest Japanese company in the world, currently held by Fast Retailing at $100.91 billion.
Let's put this in perspective real quick. Nintendo is worth $100 billion, but yet they got to raise the price on us by like $20 a game.
A lot of companies are doing this now, and I don't like it. It's I'll use WWE for example. Yeah, they're making a ton of money, but they're also charging like drastically high prices for like you'd have to take out a second mortgage on a house to go to WrestleMania.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, any capitalists out there listening to the show, like I'm a capitalist. I believe you should make as much money as you want to make. But when is enough enough? When is it going to get to the point? It's already has to be past the point where people just can't afford this stuff anymore. When it comes to entertainment, whether it's video games or streaming services, every 6 months raising the price by $3 or $4. Internet's going up. My internet doesn't work half the time, and they still jack the price up $6 on me this month. And then you've got like everything's going up. When is the breaking point where people are just like, enough? We're not paying this shit anymore.
I think you, I, and most of the middle class and below are wondering that exact same thing.
And any
because it's coming.
Yeah, any economists out there listening to the show, I just want an education in what happens when capitalism gets to the point where nobody can afford. Like, what happens when nobody can afford anything anymore? Like, what happens at that point? And we're fast approaching that moment.
I don't know. I don't want to say that we may go as far as having another Great Depression, but it could happen.
Yeah. Chuck in the chat room.
I mean, obviously, I don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
But
Chuck in the chat room says the only way the 1% can keep score, though, it's never enough. And shouldn't we just have some kind of personal finance ceiling that, like, if you reach $1 billion in personal money, you should just get a big plaque from the American government that says you win capitalism and you can't get anything higher than $1 billion. Because what do you need that money for? There's no way one person could spend $1 billion in like 50 lifetimes, and these people are running around with like $500 billion, in net worth, and it's like, okay, now what?
Yeah, it's like,
and here we are struggling for groceries. Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't have that mindset, so like I can't understand it. Like, I can't comprehend it.
I don't either. I just don't understand. I guess I just was born without that need, that greed for just endless money. Like money would be nice. Yeah, like I would love to have a couple $1 million in the bank so I wouldn't have to work so hard. But at the same time, if I was a billionaire, I'd be donating all of it. That's probably why I'm not a billionaire, because I would just give it away.
Chuck, remake it as Brewster's Billions. Take my money.
Dude, that's a movie they need to remake. I love Brewster's Millions. You ever seen that?
I have not.
Oh, dude, commentary track. After this month, when we do our third D&D session, we'll come back and we'll do Brewster's Millions.
I'll do the commentary dressed up as the Monopoly Man.
Yes, let's do it. For our last story here, this is from mynintendonews.com. This is the best story of the night right here. Here's the Metroid Prime 4 Beyond opening cutscene. It says a Nintendo fan has uploaded the cinematic introduction video for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond on the Nintendo Switch 2. He caught a glimpse of it at the Treehouse live stream, but there's no voiceovers in this video, so you can sit back and watch the dramatic introduction unfold in peace. It is scheduled to launch on the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 later this year. And you did get a chance to watch the trailer, right?
I did, yeah. I watched it earlier today. It looked really cool.
Epic.
It's really more like a teaser, if you will, but the fact that it's something Metroid related and it's like in-game stuff is really exciting. I really like the Metroid Prime games. I know the original was kind of controversial when it first came out because of the first person perspective, but I think Metroid's a great fit for that personally.
You know what this made me want? This trailer made me want an anime series in the style of oh crap, what's that one on Netflix? The really good one, the video game based
Castlevania?
Off, no, not Castlevania. It's based off League of Legends. What's it called?
I don't know. I haven't watched it.
It's so good though. But that's that style of like that visual kind of animation. That's what I want. Like that very painted, like CGI look, almost like the Ninja Turtles, almost the way they looked in the last movie.
The most recent one.
Yeah, that kind of painted look.
Yeah,
very stylized. I need that as a Metroid show or movie. Either one. I'll take either one at this point.
I'm sure if the Zelda movie is successful, that we'll get a Metroid movie.
Oh, I'm sure
at some point. Like that's especially because Zelda is a little bit more mature in tone than Mario is. So if there's a decent audience for it, I think Metroid might be next.
Yeah, I hope so.
If it were me making the decisions, it would be next.
Yeah. Both of us were making decisions. Things would be a lot better for Nintendo right now.
I like to think so.
Give us our check, Nintendo. We'll help you out.
I will wait patiently by my mailbox.
But it is now time for this month in video game history. In May of 1982, Atari releases Yar's Revenge. Arguably, probably one of the best games for the Atari 2600.
We've talked about it for years, doing a dual review of this game.
We should.
And I think we need to do it. But I hope it answers one question that I have about the game. What happened to Yars that he had to take revenge?
I'm not sure. I know he's like some kind of a weird metallic fly spaceship thing.
I wonder if he's like you remember the giant roach from the first Men in Black movie?
Yeah.
I wonder if he's like that giant bug. I've been making a lot of movie references today.
I know. I want to watch that now.
I loved that movie growing up. It was so fun.
What was his name? Edgar? He's wearing an Edgar
ironically
suit.
Played by Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays the Kingpin currently.
Heard to see a man had a cat.
A dead man. In May of 1983, Atari releases Star Wars, a color vector graphics game based on the popular film franchise. What is a Star War?
Who knows, man? Here's some money. Go see a Star War.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind actually playing this game again. I really did want that the arcade version that they put out for Arcade 1-Up. A while back, they had the Star Wars. Man, I really wanted one of those.
I've been seeing more Arcade 1-Up cabinets.
Yeah,
like not necessarily in the wild, but like available as like displays in stores. Like there's one in Best Buy.
I see them a lot at like antique shops now, like antique shops, like flea markets and stuff. They're all over the place now.
Interesting.
Let's see. May 24th of 1993, Sega of America introduced the first ever video game content rating system, the Video Game Rating Council.
I'm not going to lie, Video Game Rating Council is a much cooler name than ESRB.
Yeah, but it doesn't quite roll off the tongue as well as the ESRB.
No, but I don't know. I just think, whenever a game is complete and they're Like, what's the rating going to be?
Yeah.
We'll have to take it to the council.
They should have just called it the VRC. That's what they should have just stuck with. The VRC.
Yeah. I like that. May 1st of 1996, American video gaming website GameSpot is launched.
Man.
And I have to make a confession. I never really used GameSpot. I did occasionally, but I was big into IGN. Like,
Yeah.
that was my go-to site. That and Game FAQs.
Yeah, I was kind of more of a GameSpot guy than IGN. I didn't really get into IGN until like maybe 10, 15 years ago. But man, GameSpot in the late 90s was like on that early internet. Like that's where you went for news, man, was GameSpot.
I miss the E3 coverage
Yeah.
that websites would do every year.
I just miss the old world. I just want to go back to let's just go back to the let's go back to the 90s, Derek. Like, we have to go back.
We have to go back to the future.
Welcome, OmniSlick. How you doing? Yeah, you said
Yeah,
GameSpot
welcome.
had good reviews. They did. I loved GameSpot back in the day. May 2nd of 2002, Bethesda releases the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind for Windows in North America and Europe. I cannot believe Morrowind is 23 freaking years old right now.
I know, and I never knew anybody that played Morrowind. Like, I've mentioned this
did.
before on the show, but I wasn't introduced to the Elder Scrolls until Oblivion.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, did you see the remastered
Mm-hmm.
Oblivion's out?
I've been tempted.
I've already made the decision I can't do it.
Yeah.
I want to, but I can't.
Yeah, because if it's I played a little bit of it on the 360 back in the day, but it came out around the same time I started playing World of Warcraft, so I really got sucked into Warcraft, and my poor Xbox 360 didn't get touched for like 2 years, so that's why I skipped Oblivion. So I have a feeling I loved Skyrim so much that if I go back and play an updated Oblivion, I might get sucked into it and never find my way out again, so I might have to stay away from it.
Now, when Skyrim eventually gets remastered
Dude,
and
don't
comes
do
out,
that to me, please. I don't have the time anymore.
that'll be a game that if I get it, my wife will have to take it from me.
Yeah.
Because I won't be able to pull myself away from it.
I had well over 200 hours in that game.
I had pretty close to that because we'd get together on the weekends and like that would be all me and my friends would do. We, especially when the midnight release happened, we played that game until the sun came up.
Oh,
And I couldn't stop.
I know.
Those were the days.
Yeah.
And finally, May 5th of 2005, LucasArts releases Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith for the PS2, Xbox, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, and Symbian OS. And I had no idea there was a handheld version of this game until we did our top 5 list. And Tyler Watson mentioned it.
Yeah, I didn't know
Like, I knew
that
it was
either.
for PS2 and Xbox.
You know what's crazy? I had completely forgotten I played this game until I looked at some of the the gameplay on YouTube, and I was like, I played this game. I did not remember playing this game until I played it or watched it on YouTube, and then like all these memories flooded back of playing the game.
That's the beauty of doing this show, is that there'll be games that you completely forgot about, and it's like it unlocks like a part of your brain, and you just, it's like a flashback.
And you know what it was? It was the alternate ending that did it for me.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that alternate ending here in a bit.
But before we go into that, before we talk about Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, we got to do our Patreon shout-outs.
As always, we like to shout out our awesome patrons over at patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. We want to shout out Riley, Grumaldo Marquez, the Dungeon Master himself, Mr. Wally Phelps, Nick W., Eld the Zombie, Yup Fed, a.k.a. Knife, James, a.k.a. at Jimbo Jr. on our Discord, Raven, Danny House, Justin Nispel, Daniel Salmon, Mr. B-Rez Coffee himself, Mike Eveland, Tyler Watson, Axeblade07, Armez Jackson, Carlos Longoria, a.k.a. I am the Rampage! Staff Sergeant Sketch, Gus and Penny, Matthew Salmon, the as of 5 seconds ago, renamed Joey Holy Mother Mary Potato, violinist, pianist, and overall enjoyer of music. And if
We must
one of my
explain
coworkers,
this.
if one of my coworkers hears that, I'm probably going to get called into HR tomorrow.
Just to explain why we do that with Joey is because almost on a daily basis he gets these weird phone calls or messages that he sends to us in our group chat, and he gets called a different name every day. And it started out Joey Potato, but then it became violinist, pianist, and overall enjoyer of music. And then the other day he got called Mary. So I put Mary in parentheses. So every time he gets a phone call and gets another name added to it, we're just going to keep adding on to it.
Miss Grace might be my favorite.
Yeah, Miss Grace Potato.
Yeah. And I want to know, like, seriously, how they get the name Joey.
Who knows?
And they get Mary or Miss Grace out because they sound nothing like Joey.
I know. I don't get
It makes
these.
no sense.
I don't get these at all. I might get one in a blue moon where they don't get my name right, but Joey gets them like every day.
Makes me wonder if somebody like gave his number to some spam artists.
Probably.
I know it was not us.
Nope, not me.
And finally,
Mama Diamond.
Donna Diamond, thank you all so much for your continued contributions and keeping the lights on for us here at the Nerd Cave Retro Podcast. For as little as $1 a month, you get early access to our bonus episodes, which the past 2 months we have been partaking in the Nerd Cave Retro Quest Dungeons and Dragons campaign, where we've done everything from survive traps, have barrels thrown at us, have Jason relive some childhood nightmares. Anything you can think of that all comes from the mind of our wonderful Dungeon Master, Wally Phelps.
He knows exactly how to push my buttons, so he's the perfect Dungeon Master for this.
The listeners get good entertainment out of it, so
Yeah.
that's how I look at it. But we also do commentary tracks for feature-length movies, animated shows. Sometimes we'll do a roundtable discussion. You get about 3 to 4 weeks advance availability of those episodes before the general public does, and you get your own ad-free RSS feed for as little as $1 a month. So if you want to be a part of our awesome Patreon community, just head over to patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. And for new patrons, be sure to send us your social media info so we can give you a proper shout out.
And tonight I did not capture any music because, again, no music because Mickey Mouse will actually show up and murder us during the show. So I'm just record this and we're going to play this, Derek. This is our little intro for the game, Derek. You ready? That's our intro for episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Shout out to Nick, the horror game fan, who just joined us in the chat. Yeah, so I have actually been excited since last week to talk about this game. That is, of course, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, which is a 2005 action video game based on the movie of the same name. And as we mentioned in gaming history, it was released on May 5th, 2005. Now, what's interesting about that date is it was released 2 weeks before the movie was released in the theater. And this game also, not only does it spoil the whole movie, it actually includes cutscenes that are clips from the actual movie. And I cannot believe, as an adult playing this game and knowing what we've heard about Lucasfilm and how secretive the Star Wars sequel trilogy was, and even the prequels back in the day, the fact that they put this game out weeks before the movie is mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely mind-blowing.
They always kind of had a problem with this when it came to the prequels, because if you remember, for episode 1, the soundtrack actually dropped what, like a month or 6 weeks before the actual movie came out, and one of the tracks was titled "Death of Qui-Gon," and we're like,
Yep.
oh, well, thanks for spoiling the movie there, CD.
And that with the sequels, they didn't even put the track listing on the CDs.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Like something like this. Why would they not coordinate this to be around the same exact time as the release of the movie? Or maybe a week after, like release the movie and then a week later the video game drops. Like, because it just seems like you would get more. I mean, I'm sure this game did well. I don't know what the final numbers were for this game, but it seems like you've got all those people excited from the movie. The logical thing would be to drop the video game like the next weekend.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. You're still at a fever pitch with the movie coming out, and you're like, oh, you've seen the movie? Now you can live it in the video game.
Holy crap.
But instead,
no,
and the thing is, like, we all know how the movie was going to end.
Yeah, of course.
But still, there's little details in there that we didn't exactly know was going to happen.
I didn't know this game had over 12 minutes of footage from the movie. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's so weird you would release this like 2 weeks before the movie came out. That's a bad decision for me.
Yeah, that is a very bad decision. So that was the first thing that I thought of whenever I went back to revisit this. Because I loved this game growing up or around the time it came out, because anything Star Wars I had to get my hands on.
Yeah.
So this was no exception. So like most adaptations, and we've reviewed quite a few of them here on the show, and for the most part, they follow what happens in whatever it's based on, whether it's an animated show or a movie. But there are little detours that they'll take where they add a little bit more.
Yeah.
And this is exactly like that. And it happens in the very beginning of the game. And it starts out as you're on the Grievous's ship, just like the movie starts, where you're trying to rescue Palpatine. And it kind of serves as a tutorial where you can learn like the different Force abilities you can use. You start as Anakin, and it's you and Obi-Wan and R2-D2. And Obi-Wan kind of guides you on like, oh, use the Force for this, or hey, you can deflect blaster beams with your lightsaber. So it's a good way to get into the world of Star Wars. And it even, it pops up on the screen like press R2 to use the Force to lift, the ship or whatever.
So how was the controls for the game? Did it hold up pretty well?
It was okay. It was playable, but I think if this game were made today, it would be a little bit smoother. When you look at games like Fallen Order, where the combat system is just so smooth. But this game does have a lot of cool features to it. They're not necessary, but they are cool. Like one of the things I like the most about it is you get experience points as you progress through each stage. So it depends on like your lightsaber skills, ways you defeat enemies and whatnot. You get judged based on every attack that you do. It could be either, fair, good, great, and I can't remember what the ultimate ranking is. But after every attack, you get a certain amount of points. And then at the end of each stage, the points add up. And you eventually, you level up your character and you can have more powerful Force abilities. You can't upgrade your Force dash, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But some of the cooler deviations that they take in the game is, so when you're, say, on not Palpatine, Grievous's ship, trying to rescue Palpatine, after you get through the first part, you get dropped into this lower deck in the ship, and you fight these super battle droids that have these big gauntlets on their arms, and they can deflect lightsaber strikes. So you have to actually be more strategic
Yeah.
in what you do, because the AI in this game is not very smart. Like, you can kind of breeze through the game fairly quickly, which is unfortunate, but little deviations like that. And then once Anakin turns and he goes to Mustafar to assassinate the head of the Trade Federation, you go through different like obstacles once you get to the fortress on Mustafar, and you have to fight like these bodyguards that are protecting the Viceroy. So stuff like that, I like that they add little things like that.
Yeah, because the full gameplay playthrough that I watched on YouTube, I kind of scrubbed through it, fast forwarding through it, but it's only like 3 hours long, and you figure the movie
it's not a long
itself
game
is
at all.
like 2 hours 20 minutes, so the game's not much longer than the movie.
No, it's not. And it does get repetitive because, like I said, these cool features that you have, like the more advanced combat, the force abilities, at the end of the day, they're not really necessary, because like I said, you can kind of just breeze through the game, because the battle droids are basically cannon fodder, like they are in throughout the duration of the prequels.
Well, honestly, that's kind of true to Star Wars lore, that if if you're gonna play a game as a Jedi, you should just be able to just overpower. You should be the most overpowered video game character ever.
Oh, absolutely. And during the story mode, you alternate between Anakin and Obi-Wan. So you pretty much just play as a Jedi throughout the entire time. But one of the things I forgot about was you can unlock bonus missions, and there aren't that many, but you can play as different characters. So say there's one bonus mission where you're in this room in the Jedi Temple during Order 66, and you play as Yoda, and you have these different phases of clone troopers come out of the woodwork to try and kill you. And eventually the peak of the troopers that you fight are called clone assassins, where they basically can almost like phase in and out of existence. So they're a bit of a pain to fight. And then the coolest one is you actually reenact the Darth Vader Ben Kenobi fight on the Death Star from Episode 4. And it actually, when it starts, it plays that scene from the movie. And it starts, with the stormtroopers running, and then you see Obi-Wan, then he sees Vader from across the hall.
I forgot all about that.
And then I know it was the 70s, and filmmaking has come a long way since then, but I wouldn't call the Vader Kenobi Episode 4 fight the pinnacle of lightsaber mastery. So once you go into the game mode, you can like jump ultra high, you can move ultra fast, and it's just so funny watching Darth Vader and old Obi-Wan do all this stuff, and they're all talking smack to each other, and like Vader sounds close to James Earl Jones, but the Ben Kenobi voice actor was all right, but something that got on my nerves so much, the constant talking over and over. I can't tell you, I'm probably going to hear in my dreams Obi-Wan saying, "Use the Force, Anakin." Just like, yeah, I know, Obi-Wan, thanks.
Do you have to remind him? I mean, he's Anakin, for Christ's sake.
There's some that are funny, like in the Episode 4 fight, whenever you hear the Ben Kenobi, because it doesn't sound really like Alec Guinness, but when he says, "You're only a master of evil, Darth," it just sounds so like, it doesn't sound great, but it's funny. Yeah, overall, I mean, there's not too much more to say about this game, even though like I liked where they were going with it, but I felt like if this game were made today, or even like 5 to 7 years ago, it would be drastically better.
Yeah.
Because it's like they were trying some new things, but they didn't quite know how to incorporate it where it became more necessary
I will
to
say
learn
though,
the different force abilities.
the videos, going back and watching, it still looks good. Game looks pretty good. I remember I played this on the Xbox, and it just seems like as far as a tie-in movie, it seems like you said, if they would have done this within the last 10, 15 years, they would have added so much more cool stuff to it. It would have been a lot more like maybe The Force Unleashed or something like that. A little more platformy. But, for what it was, like I remember renting this and I think I might have beat it in the same weekend that I rented it. So even back then I was like, man, that was a short game.
It was. Let's talk about the alternate ending.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing that I remember the most. Mm-hmm. Like as Star Wars fans, we talk about, like what if Luke had joined Palpatine, or what if, something drastic happened that would change the course of how the movies went. Well, there's an alternate ending in this game where once you get to the Anakin Obi-Wan fight on Mustafar, you play as Anakin. And the high ground does not work for Mr. Kenobi because Anakin is able to jump over him. He kills Obi-Wan.
And kicks him in the lava.
Yeah, kicks him in the lava. And then Palpatine shows up, gives Anakin his red lightsaber. And the first thing he does is he puts it right through Palpatine's chest.
He's like, it's my empire. And I'm like, oh, this is what unlocked all the memories where I remember playing this game because all my friends at the time, we were all obsessed with Star Wars. Just like, dude, there's an alternate ending to the game. You got to see it. And I remember playing it that weekend just to get to the alternate ending of the game.
And this is the first, and I don't know if it is the first, but it's the first one I remember where a what if scenario actually plays out.
Yeah.
Because now you can go on YouTube and people will do theories on like, what if Vader had killed Obi-Wan? What if Vader never turned good? What if he let Luke die in Return of the Jedi? And that's pretty common now, but
yeah,
it was a rare thing that we actually got to see it happen.
But also, too, on that note, now with YouTube, you can just go watch it. The alternate ending of this game. But back then, it was like you had to play the game to see the ending or watch a friend play it to beat it and watch the alternate ending. There was no, let's jump on YouTube and watch the end. It was like these things were like, holy crap, there's an alternate ending. I'm going to rent that this weekend. And like that's just how you did it.
Oh, and it was the best when you would do that with a group of people.
Yeah.
Especially like you mentioned with having friends that were into Star Wars. The same thing happened with me. And we just were like flabbergasted by watching it happen.
Oh, wow. Like what would happen? Like, can we get these movies?
They would make a decent amount of money if they did like an animated what if series.
Star
Wars.
Since they do it for Marvel, why not do a what if series for
I would love that.
An animated series? Like what would happen if Anakin had lived at the end of Return of the Jedi? Or, what if, just weird things like what if Jabba survived or something like that? Just like weird stuff like that.
What if, Order 66 didn't work?
Yeah. Like what
if Yoda killed Palpatine?
Yeah, like all that kind of stuff. Like how would Star Wars play out? How would the universe play out if some of these things happen like a different way?
And you could do it in the same animation style as Rebels or Clone Wars. And you've got the prequel actors and even some from the original trilogy. So you could theoretically do it.
Take all my money, Disney. If you do this, you'll get all my money.
If that ever happened, I guarantee you I would watch every episode the day they dropped.
Just let me write one. That's all I want. Just let me write one.
What if Shadows of the Empire was canon?
Oh. Well, here's I tell you what would happen if Shadows of the Empire were still canon. Jason would be a happy boy. That's what would happen.
Yes. Oh, that would be great. But as far as the reception of the game goes, it received mixed reviews upon release. Game Rankings and Metacritic gave it a score of 71.85% and 73 out of 100 for the DS version, 65.85 and 61 out of 100 for the Xbox version, and 64.53 and 60 out of 100 for the PS2 version. IGN rated the PS2 and Xbox versions 4.5 out of 10. They criticized the camera, combo system, graphics, level design, AI, and most specifically, the implementation of the combat-based gameplay. So you pretty much didn't like anything about the game. Just, it would have been much shorter if you'd said, we don't like anything about this game. GameSpot rated it 6.3 out of 10. And that's kind of about where I fall in it. I think 4.5 is too low for this. This is how I look at it, playing it in 2025. Does it age perfectly? No. But it is far from the worst Star Wars game I've ever played.
Yeah.
It's still got some fun moments. You get to relive, to me, one of the better movies. And this was the one everyone was waiting for, because even though we knew what the outcome was going to be, we wanted to see how it happened.
Well, not only that, but it just extended your movie experience as well. Like, you go see the movie, and then you come home and you get to play the video game. And it was a decent, serviceable video game.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. You know, it's definitely not perfect, but I would put it slightly above average.
Yeah, I would say that I'm very interested to go back and play this again, just to play it one more time.
You should.
Yeah, I might look for this at the flea markets. I'm pretty sure. Let's just real quick. Let's just take a look on eBay and see what a PS2 copy goes for. Let's see.
I'm very curious about this.
Revenge of the Sith. Come on, eBay. PS2. Let's see. We have a buy at $9.99 or best offer, $6 or best offer. Are there any? Buy it now, $7.99. So $8. Buy it now. So you can go get yourself a copy of Episode 3 for pretty cheap these days.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can find these out in the wild, because there were probably millions of these made at the time.
Oh, yeah.
I might have to get this. I just want it just to have it.
No, you should. I'd be curious to get your thoughts if you go back and play it.
Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye out for it. If I find it, I'm just going to snatch it up. And if I can't find it in the next couple of months, I might just buy one off eBay. Because, I mean, $8, come on. $8, that's nothing.
I see that being one of those games that you'll look for it and not find it.
Yeah.
And then you won't think about it, and then you'll just randomly find it somewhere.
Either that, or I'll buy it. I won't be able to find it anymore, and then I'll buy it on eBay for $8, and then, like, the next weekend, every flea market and thrift store I go to will have, like, 5 copies for, like, $1.50 a piece.
I hope that doesn't happen.
But that's going to bring us to the end of the review. And I know I said last week for everybody to please tell me what you wanted me to play. I'd forgotten that I had a bunch of people already on Patreon telling me what to play. So I am going to go down the list over my next few reviews for everybody that told me what they wanted me to play over on Patreon. So the next thing we got up is I'm going to be playing Bonanza Brothers for the Sega Genesis. That was suggested by our fact checker to the fact checker, Mr. Tyler Watson. And then coming up after that, I'm going to be doing Contra Hardcore by Mr. Nick W., who in the chat room right now is Nick the Horror Game Fan. So I am probably going to throw my controller through the wall trying to play Contra Hardcore. So that's going to be coming up next month.
And as far as my next review, if I can find a copy of it, I'm going to play Donkey Kong Jungle Beat for the GameCube, because not only is it a platformer,
You still have them?
you use the... Yes, I
Yes.
still have the bongos, and you use those as the controller.
Awesome.
I can't wait.
Oh, and also I need to. I'm going to be doing. I got a suggestion on Facebook by Nick Opaleski, who wanted me to do
right.
Showdown Legends of Wrestling, and I've been looking for a copy of it, and I can't find one in the wild, so I might just pick one up off of eBay, and that'll be a summer review as well. So thank you for everybody for and also there's The Suffering for PS2. Justin Nispel wanted me to play. Also, Nick the horror game fan, wanted me to do James Bond Is it Nightfire? I think I misspelled it, but I don't know that game at all.
Yeah, I've never heard of it, so I'll be curious to find out more about it.
And he's very excited about Doom: The Dark Ages is about to unlock. So I haven't played a Doom game since the 90s. So I really would like to jump back into Doom. I might go check that out, because it's been a long time since I've played a Doom game.
The last experience I had with Doom was watching the movie.
Yeah. Oh. Oof.
Yeah, and I won't say anything more than that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Commentary. That seems like perfect commentary track fodder for us.
That's an accurate way to describe it.
Yeah. Oh, and he says James Bond Nightfire is an EA-made James Bond game. I didn't know that EA made a James Bond game, so I have no idea if it's good or bad, but we're going to find out. But let's go ahead and he said and M. Ortiz said Nightfire on the GameCube was awesome. They had a great 4-player multiplayer. That sounds
I
fun.
remember this game. I never played it, but I remember the cover.
Huh.
The cover's really cool.
I'm going to look for a copy on GameCube, because that's where I want to play. I don't have enough for my GameCube. I need more games.
And it's the Pierce Brosnan Bond, so it can't be bad.
Cool. Well, anyway, we got to start wrapping this thing up. And thank you all for hanging out with us this week. Derek, please tell everybody what's going on in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, so I'm actually producing a new short film that my friend Chad Sanders wrote and will be directing.
Cool.
We're either going to shoot this summer or in the fall. It's called Wired for Sound. It's a psychedelic thriller.
Ooh.
And if you want to follow it, you can go to Facebook or Instagram at Wired for Sound Movie. We are currently trying to raise money for it, which is always a fun part of the filmmaking process.
Yes.
So, if you want to learn more about the movie, you can check it out there.
Fantastic. And go listen to the Open Micers podcast with me and Mr. Jacob Craig over at the Open Micers, at Open Micers podcast on Instagram and Threads. We've had some really good guests over the last few months. We've had some really good hostful episodes. We had a really good hostful episode this last week where Jacob just decided he was going to play bully on the PS2 instead of paying attention to the podcast. So it was me making fun of him the whole time. I love Jacob.
Wow.
Go check it out at Open Micers podcast on Instagram and Threads. So is that it, Derek? Is that everything?
I reckon.
Yeah, I don't think we do not have a listener review. Get us your listener reviews, everybody. You put your listener review there on the Discord, and we will read it on the show. And don't forget, you can email us at nerdcaveretro@gmail.com. If you don't want to email us, but you want to leave a voice message, you can go to voicecast.app/NCR. You don't have to sign up for anything. You just go there, you leave us a message, and that's it. That's all you got to do. Nerd Cave Retro is our link tree. That includes everything. Our social media, our ways to give us money, all that good stuff. And, of course, our merch shop at ncrmerch.com. We have all kind of designs over there. We got t-shirts, hats, magnets, bags, mugs, whatever your nerdy heart desires. And, of course, you can't do that. I understand times are tough, but you can go leave us a review and or a 5-star rating on all the podcasting platforms. Derek, please tell them what it's all about.
This is where the fun begins.
Yes. So sad. You want my brother, Anakin?
I thought about going no.
Oh, you know,
But
I wish they would go back and just take
that.
that out. Just take it out.
And you know what Uncle George did before he sold Star Wars to Disney was he put it in Return of the Jedi right before Vader throws Palpatine in the Death Star reactor.
That. I remember why.
It's so bad. It is so bad.
Dude, Mushmouth. What's up, Mushmouth in the chat room? Did you get the video I sent you the other day of what was his name in Home Alone? Kevin walks out of the house.
Macaulay
and he's
Culkin?
Like, I'm not afraid anymore. And then all of a sudden you see the Anakin's lightsaber, and he's like,
oh no.
Oh, if I gotta find it again, and I'll send it to you. It's one of the funniest things you will ever see.
Mushmouth, unpopular opinion, almost every change to the OG trilogy is warranted, except for the song and dance number in Return of the Jedi.
So you're gonna sit here and tell me that them changing Boba Fett's voice at the end of Empire Strikes Back was warranted? Or where Darth Vader's walking down the hallway and he's all mad, like that Luke escaped his clutches, and he's just walking out wanting to rip, close somebody's throat up, and he's just like, bring my shuttle. But no, they changed it to call the Emperor and have him prepare for my arrival.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, Uncle George?
The one that's the most warranted was when they took the original actor who played Palpatine in Empire Strikes Back and replaced him with Ian McDiarmid.
Yeah, that needed to be done.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try to find this thing because Mushmouth wants to see the video too. So I'll find it and send it to both of y'all.
Okay.
But yeah,
did you send it to me on Instagram?
I think I did.
Okay, I don't get on Instagram as much, so I'll go on there and look.
Yeah, I do. It's the last one I sent you.
Okay.
All right, and
yeah, I'll check it out after the show.
I'll send it to you too, Mushmouth. So thank you all for hanging out with us, and we will see. Actually, let me play our outro here. We love all you guys. Have a great week, and we'll see you right here next Monday.
Jedi Rock.